together in the end.
We hope you'll consider joining us at the concert to see these guys and their other two buddies who are actually on the East Coast right now at the concert in November. Pick up the phone and make your pledge. The number is right there on your screen. It takes just a couple of minutes. You'll talk to one of our friendly volunteers who are also very big Celtic Thunder fans. So we'd love to hear from you, and they'd love to answer any questions you have and take your pledge and reserve your seats for that upcoming concert. Okay, so tell me a little bit what you think the will be some of the showstopper favorites. Do you get a feel when you performed it there? What, I mean, they came alive, you said, when they sang Puppy Love, and you liked that electricity that was going on. What else?
Well, I think any of the songs that kind of almost encouraged the audience to become part of the show. Like, for example, Raggle Taggle Gypsy, which I think is the third song of the segment there tonight. You know, it's very much, we encourage people to clap along and get involved, preferably in time, not necessarily an issue, but you know, and so that's kind of one of the favourites. Ireland's Call is always very popular. Generally speaking, I mean, all the kind of the solo songs are kind of relatively popular, but when we come together as a unit, they generally go down the best, you know. Yep.
And what would you say to our public as they're watching you tonight, why it's important to call?
I think because PBS, like as I was telling you earlier, I used to work for the BBC back home in Ireland, and the BBC is funded by the government, and without the viewers who are watching PBS, there would be no existence of PBS, and guys like us wouldn't have the opportunity to sing, and there wouldn't be shows like this also on the TV.
So in essence, we give you a place to perform, a stage to perform.
And you keep us from getting a real job, and we appreciate that. And if you stop pledging, I'm going to have to go get an office job. Please don't do that to me.
You heard him. Please go to the phones right now and make your pledge. The number is right there on your screen. Now remember, like they said, PBS provides a place for these young men to perform, and if we didn't do it, who would? No one else but PBS. So we need you to pick up the phone and make your pledge right now. And you know, KVCR feels very fortunate, as all of us do here in the studio, to have these three guys with us all the way from Ireland. Actually, where'd you really come from?
Well, I'm Irish.
No, I mean just before you got here.
I thought she was
from Los
accusing
Angeles,
me of being
right?
Australian or something there for a minute. No, I'm actually Irish. Yeah, no. We actually came from
Phoenix.
Phoenix last night. Yeah. So.
Right, and Phoenix is there. They're ready to perform in Phoenix, but they're ready to perform for you in Los Angeles. We hope you'll go to the phones right now and make your pledge. All right, let's talk about the audition portion. I mean, and how this came about. Who wants to go with theirs?
Well, I suppose mine's is sort of nothing funny about it really. Mine's is sort of the oddest. I was actually having a beer with my father, and I was recording in London for a full week, and I just got back that day, and my dad was telling me about Celtic Thunder, and I honestly didn't have a clue what it was, and I at the time didn't have much interest because I was just back after a week's recording, and he paid for my taxi to go to the audition, and bada bing, bada bang, I'm sitting here right now, so I am.
So that was kind of actually neat, because then you didn't have time to think much about it.
I think it was probably better that way, because anytime you audition for anything or doing anything, you make it out to be big, you sort of might psych yourself out for it, whereas I just walked in and
just kind of winged it, huh? And sang what they said.
Like I wing everything else.
And there you go. And then you said you had sent in a DVD that they already had a sample of your singing, right?
I recorded an album of 14 tracks and somehow got into Phil Coulter's hands, and I took a random decision to listen to it, I suppose, and he rang me up and said he would like me to be involved in a show which involved a bit of filming and singing. Even
though they called you, did you know you were chosen, or did you still have to go through the audition process?
I didn't really know I was chosen, but Phil more or less told me that they were going to close the audition chance for people my age, because they had me planned in. But I still had to go through the process, you know, and prove myself, more or less. So, but it was a very exciting period, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
And we're glad you got it, as are you. But you actually had some background with Phil. You were kind of cherry-picked, weren't you?
Well, I wouldn't say that now. Don't go get me into trouble. But I had worked with Phil a good 7 years prior to Celtic Thunder's conception, and you know, it was a great experience, and we worked well. At the time I was 21, just I think maybe 22 at the most, and we did a cruise in the Caribbean together, and it was great crack, and we got on fine, and then as I said, didn't hear from him for a number of years, and then he was doing an interview on public television in Ireland and talking about this new concept and this new show, And my mother rings me and goes, would you be interested in doing that, Paul? Ring him up. And I said, no, Mom, you're all right, thanks. I don't want to join a boy band. Well, I had images of us going for an audition for Backstreet Boys or something like that. And thankfully, you know, it wasn't like that. Phil rang me a couple of days later and he explained the concept of the show. I totally bought it. And here I am, you know, it's been a wonderful experience so far.
Well, we're grateful that Sharon Brown and Phil Kohler had the audacity, not the audacity, the vision.
The audacity. They did have the audacity to ring me. How dare you, Phil Kohler?
A lot of audacity to do that.
Don't you ring me again, Phil Kohler.
Had the vision to see a great show. All right.
Change my phone number.
If you would like to be part of that show, please plan to join us at the concert. Rick, you take it.
Okay, let's take another look at our concert ticket offer to see Celtic Thunder live in concert this November. Again, it's November 29th at the Nokia Theater in Los Angeles. That is a Saturday. Great day to take a day and go to LA. Tickets are at the $100 giving level. Our phone lines are open, and it is a great time to call right now and get the best seats available for this wonderful concert. Please pick up the phone and call that number on your screen right now. We're going to go back for more great music with Celtic Thunder right after you have another look at our other thank you gifts.